Adam, we're back. My friend, man, how are you feeling today?
Feeling pumped, man. Let's go. Market's back, people back. Nah, no bad. Who knows what it is? It's crazy. You know, we are definitely in a bull market, but you know, it's so incredibly fast how stuff turns positive to negative and it's just, you know, trying to stay on top of it and not get too caught up in the emotions of it is it's really hard to do. I mean, this is where like true traders are able to stand out because they can understand the dynamics of just like the emotional, ridiculous swings that happen in crypto, literally on a day-to-day basis. It's hard to track, man.
All you need is one pump,
and all you need is one good one.
We are back. You know, I had this thought yesterday. I actually think that the ETFs are making Bitcoin more volatile than less.
Totally, dude.
You know, before going into it, they thought that it would make it less because there's more capital. But you know, now we're pumping in. Yesterday, the inflow is $300 million for just BlackRock, right? And that's at this, and we're at the same all-time high from last year, or from the previous all-time high. So it seems like getting these 7 or 8% swings, you know, it was not like this last cycle. Outside of the original markup from 20K to 60K, but outside of that, it felt very sluggish.
And you think about it, how normally we would think, okay, Bitcoin pumps, and then that money would basically filter into, you know, the altcoin market, right? But this is different, right? Because if this is a Wall Street generated pump, right, that money is not, you know, transferring over into Solana coins, right? It just doesn't happen. It's different money entering the Bitcoin space. So, you know, how that all works, like this is the first time we're having to deal with this, right? So we're kind of figuring it out on the road. I mean, it's like Bitcoin may pump, may go to the moon, and, you know, alts and crypto, the same thing might not happen this time. It may not be a traditional market cycle this time. So it's going to be interesting to ride through it.
Yeah. Memes are definitely the center of attention. And I do want to start off with Dogecoin. It does seem like there's a lot of attention coming back to it. I saw a lot of larger accounts. I think Kaleo, I think Ansem, and a handful of them were talking about how because of Pump.fun, there was, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, there was 20,000 new meme coins created in one day.
Crazy, bro.
And this oversaturation of meme coins is probably just going to pivot people back to what they feel safe. And also, I think the thesis was the combination of too many meme coins on Solana and GameStop pumping. And there's only 2 cryptocurrencies listed on Robinhood, which was like Dogecoin, or 2 meme coins. It was like Dogecoin and WIF, I think. And so a lot of those GME profits and AMC profits could flow back into Dogecoin just because it's the safe bet. It's the name brand meme coin. And it hasn't really pumped, right? It's been pretty flat. It's had maybe gone up, went from what, like 8 cents to 20 cents or so, maybe a little bit above that, but it's still early. And you have like the ETF that a lot of people are speculating on for Doge. And maybe we're so back.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it's over too, right? I mean, who knows, right? It's hard to say. I mean, this is where guessing, everybody gets to guess and throw their hat in the ring. And I mean, it's kind of interesting because it feels like the consensus is, oh, we're not really done with meme coin season yet. You know, this is what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling is like, get into, you know, what they're considering the blue chips. So like WIF, Pepe, Doge, whatever, you know, ones you want to select, because we're just at the start and retail hasn't really entered yet. And these are going to explode. That's possible. Like that's totally possible. It's also possible that everybody's thinking that, and we're in a crowded trade, kind of like what we were thinking, pre-runes. So I don't know, man. It's tough to say. I do know that there's still a lot of traction on Solana and the meme coins, but the cycle with those suckers, man. I mean, it is a lesson in, just PvP trading, man. I mean, even the ones which I think, oh, this is going to have some legs because it's got an influencer behind it. There's like thousands of people who know about it. And still, the cycle is an hour, maybe. Like, what was it, 2 days ago? Or was it yesterday? The one from Nick and those guys. It literally pumped and was done in like 30 minutes. Like the pump was over in 30 minutes and it rode to zero in 12 hours. It was at zero. Like it's incredible, man. There was no traction. Like I would have thought, oh, it's kind of stupid. It's silly. Why not? This might be something. Bro, it was like less than nothing. Incredible. Literally nobody had any desire to hold on to that sucker for more than 10 minutes. It's literally crazy.
It's just becoming highly extractive.
All extractive, fully extractive. Everything.
Time to move on to new ecosystems. Chris, what do you think about Dogecoin? Do you think some of the macro tailwinds will push people to Dogecoin because maybe they're either burnt out on Solana, or the GME degens are going to rotate over there just because it's easier? Today we have Roaring Kitty still posting these videos, which it's starting to become a little cringe now at this point. I don't even know if it's even working, but he did post about crypto in one of these and meme coins. So, Chris, you think any of this will flow over to our favorite meme coin, Dogecoin?
I can't believe he has so many videos. I don't know if he edits them himself or how he has his hands on this much content that's just been streaming every hour, half hour on every single day. But the guy's a madman. I've liked the Doge trade for like the last month. Still think that it's pretty solid. Everything else has kind of ran up, and then you're still looking at Doge with like a 80% from all time high, with really good distribution. You have obviously the call option of Elon at any point in time. And it's just accessible on pretty much any exchange that people have crypto on, or they might look to buy crypto on. So I still think that that's like one of the best trades, especially if you have all these institutions that are just watching all of these retail traders make a bunch of money on memes. And if it actually is on its way to becoming kind of a premier category or a front leading category of crypto, then they're forced to get some sort of exposure, right? And they definitely didn't have any before at some sort of a fund or institutional level. So it's just you're looking for something that's lindy and something that you can actually put some serious size on. And there's maybe 2 or 3 meme coins that would fit some description like that. And Doge is pretty much the only one that you can get real size on. So I still think that that's a strong bet. The cycle for pump.fun is really crazy, but these are in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars that might be taken out of the ecosystem rather than investing in buying Wormhole at like a valuation of like 14 billion or something like that. So net I still feel like, even though it seems like a mini mania, I think it's a little bit healthier than a bunch of retail aping into these super high FDV protocols that basically just suck their money in one way and don't give anything else out on the way out.
Yeah, there was a excuse me. There was a podcast I listened to earlier. I think it was on Empire. They were talking about the death of the high FDV, low float trade, and how most of the crypto natives are just not buying it anymore because they know what the gimmicks are. They know that it's purposely done this way so that whenever the unlocks happen, the early investors just basically unload onto quote unquote retail. But I feel like a lot of the retail that the industry has been asking for never really came. And so those who stuck around are now a little bit more seasoned and aware of, these tokenomic games that are being played on the background. And I guess that's why, as we said, that the institutions are just going to have to buy the meme bags at some point here in time. On-chain hustlers, what are your thoughts on this, brother? Man, the creator of Leica's On-Chain, which is a Doginal collection. What are your thoughts on the state of Doginals and Dogecoin?
Yeah, how you doing, Jake? How you doing, Adam? How you doing, Chris?
Good.
Nice to speak to you guys. Oh yeah, I kind of it's well before Dogecoin, I'm just gonna take a step back to what you guys were talking about with pump.fun and base.fun. The way I see that going is just the same people just sharing the same liquidity between each other, and it's all going to they're all snatching it from each other, right? They're all going to take that liquidity and put it into established projects like Doge, PayPay, and maybe I'll say WIF, just because it has a big backing behind it. But I do see established meme coins growing, especially Dogecoin, and with what's going on in Doge now, there's a bunch of builders building on Doge. Doginals are coming up, DRC20s are coming up, and I saw a project the other day called Doge Miner. They came out and they want to actually build on layer 1 Doge instead of making a layer 2. So it's a bunch of things going on in Dogecoin now that I see it as, obviously it's going to continue as running as Godfather meme, but when retail comes in as well, they're going to gravitate towards what's easy to buy. And Doge, PayPay, those are the things that are easy to buy. So I just wanted to agree with you guys based on what you were saying. It's completely correct. I don't think any of these meme coins on Solana are going to end up being big. It's just same people sharing liquidity between each other. So
what if we are the retail and we're already? I agree with your thesis that we're just spreading liquidity with each other. But what if we are the retail, bro?
Yeah, that's that
would be a bummer for this cycle that we're already here.
Yeah, I did see this stuff with the meme coin ETF that came out the other day. Isn't that, I don't know, when people start to put money towards that, isn't that when retail is coming in?
Yeah, so that was an index. It was created by The Block and somebody else. But you are right? This is kind of, once you start getting indexes, that's kind of the precursor to ETFs or these type of financial products that wrap up, meme coins. I think that index was like very heavily weighted Dogecoin. I think it was like way over 50%. Yeah. But that's the start. That's the start of it, though.
Yeah, they had like Dogecoin at 30%. They had PayPay with, and there was two other ones they had Shiba in there. And there's one other one I'm not sure about, but Doge was definitely first.
Floki.
Yeah, and Floki, yeah. But Doge was definitely first because it's the most established one.
Here, let's take a bet here right now. Adam, how long until a Runes gets added to this meme coin index?
I think it's going to take, I really think it's going to take, one of them has to run, and obviously, I think a lot of us believe Dog's going to be that one. I think they just have to hit 1 billion. Billion's like that magic number that it runs up there. Then it gets the centralized listing, exchange listing. And, it feels like that's going to have to happen before we get any sort of inclusion. I think I tweeted about it maybe a week ago or so that, it was like, there's a meme tracker that tracks like the value of all these meme coins. And like, it's not even on there. Like there's no, even though it would crack like the top 10, it's not even on the chart, So I think there's still a lot of, and the only way to change that is it's got to be worth more. That's it, right? It has to grab attention, and attention is by value. People have to value it, Actually, if somebody has info, I'd love to know more about, we've talked about it a bit. I pinned up top, the Coinbase guys were tweeting, and Coinbase OpenSea, about Ethereum. And I'm wondering about Brett on Base, because I saw some tweets, a couple weeks ago about, the tokenomics and how crazy it is. Has anybody like tracked that and watched that drop? Is it drop or is it not dropped? It's so interesting to me if anybody has inside info on that, just to talk about that tokenomics and how it's doing. Anyway.
No, I haven't been following any of the Base stuff, although it has been capturing some attention, and it kind of leads into Ethereum and the gas price the gas has been consistently under 10, even like probably right now it is. The other day it was 3, and that was
It's like
the
free.
lowest I'd seen it, and maybe we'll just touch on
I
this.
don't even remember ever seeing it at 3. 3 is like,
Well, the question is like, is Ethereum actually? It is partly dead, but is it that the majority of users who are still on Ethereum have moved to L2s, or is it just a completely, complete wasteland? It's probably a combination of both, but I don't think, the communities or the industry is really giving Ethereum credit, where last cycle was, hey, we need to move people to L2s, and now it's actually happening and no one's really talking about it. Like, it's literally everyone is on Blast and Base and Arbitrum right now.
it was the dream of like Ethereum, like for the I don't know, however many since the last cycle, really, right? Was this idea that, oh, it's all gonna the value is gonna rest on top of Ethereum. Well, here we are. I mean, it's incredible that it's taken off, to me, but that's just through, Pac-Man and the incredible tokenomics and gamification that he's been able to create. And then frankly, the base guys with their meme coins. And, that's kind of what I was getting at, though. Like, they've done this meme coin stuff, which how much of it was completely artificial? And it's possible that almost all of it was completely artificial, which is like crazy to think about. While I think Pac-Man has done, like, it's more about a real game. He's built some nice gamification over there. Whether or not that has legs once that kind of gets distributed, I doubt it. But yeah, all this value created on top of Ethereum, man. Ethereum should be pumping, bro. Pumping.
So you think then if everyone moves to L2s, this is bullish or bearish for Ethscriptions, as they're kind of positioning themselves. Yeah, Michael and Tom have been doing this for a while, positioning themselves as a competitor.
Yep.
To the L2s as being more decentralized and cheaper. Do you think as people move to L2s, they just completely forget about Inscription, or do you think it gives it more staying power as a scaling solution?
I think they need to come up with something that's really attractive. And it's really hard to do. And I've talked to those guys a couple of times about it. It's extremely difficult to do, and to grab attention and get people to use, what is in reality basically an L2, a different version of it here.
I think they call it L1 plus. Right?
L1 plus, right? Yeah, I came up with that, but the L1 plus, they need to create something that's super attractive, and that's right now. It's how do you get people to feel like they're going to make money using your platform? It worked early days. Ethscriptions worked because Ethscriptions blew up there for a while, right?
Yeah.
People were making money hand over fist. If you had one of those early ones, you did it for $1 and you sold it for hundreds of dollars, right? It was incredible return. Some of these guys got super rich doing it. But after that died down, and it was just, as we've seen on every chain, just apes dumping on apes. The money eventually runs out. And so how can those guys kind of craft something that's really attractive to bring people over to use it? And the way to do that is create something where people are making at least perceived money, so blast points, blast gold, whatever the heck those are named. I think they're going to have to do something like that to really attract eyeballs.
So here on Gitcoin, it looks like they raised $51,000 on Gitcoin. So getting a little bit of funding. So props off to these guys. I don't know. It looks like it was closed 9 days ago. But I know this is big for them, right? Because it's really just a team of 2 guys. So yep. 50K can go a long way. I saw Michael posted that they added a new contract type, which is called a pre-sale ERC20 to Facet. Facilitates a trustless pre-sale for ERC20 tokens. Launching on Facet, you can find and deploy the contract here. Excuse me. I know they also added a bridge where you can bring any I believe it's any ERC20 to Inscriptions. I mean, that's or to Facet, I guess, is because it's built on Inscriptions. This is it. Yeah, the universal ERC20 wrapper, which I think is bullish. But at the end of the day, right, you got to attract that liquidity over. And what are you going to do? But even just unlocking this, essentially, right, you could bring, hundreds of billions of dollars.
You bring Pepe over, right? Bring the Pepe community over. Basically, free trading makes sense. But why would anybody bring it over, right? You've got to create something that's really attractive. And the reality is, like with some of these meme coins, the gold standard is getting it on a centralized exchange, right? That's like the alpha pinnacle top. So can Facet compete on that? Man, it's tough. Like these are not easy challenges. Like this is the challenge that every L2 is having to go through. We've seen reasonable success with Pac-Man and with Blast, but we've seen I guess Merlin's done it a little. They've had some success, right? So it's kind of working, but they need to create some sort of strategy like that, and then really get out there.
Yeah, I mean, do you copy what everyone's doing right now, and you basically spin up an L2 and you add the points meta, right? They're doing it on every chain, and especially Doge, and we'll cover that. Would you do that for something like Inscription, or is the points meta kind of fading, and you got to come up with something a little more unique?
I think they're in a unique position, similar to what I think they could do something similar to what Merlin did, which is like you stake your NFTs here that aren't doing anything, right? Bring over that liquidity, get people interested in bringing over their punks, their apes, right? Get people moving stuff over there in the hopes of some reward system, right? And then gamify it in some way on top of that, right? And that is challenging. I mean, they have a hard row ahead. Like it is not, they've got to really create something exciting. And to do that is it usually takes a special person to be able to craft something like that. It's just really hard to do. But I give them a good shot, as good as any, because the reality is they're on Ethereum. They're connected with Ethereum. They have a real opportunity with all these assets sitting on Ethereum that kind of aren't doing anything right now. They could harness that to really get some attention, I think, if they played it correctly.
Yeah, I guess the only other alternative to that is if you create something native that everybody wants and you can kind of export it, whether it's a native Facet ERC20 or a native Ethscription asset. Although I haven't seen any of that yet. So maybe you attract some sort of large artist would be like the basic thing, to come in and create some art to get some of their users in and try to create a snowball effect.
Really hard. And who's buying art? Who gives a shit right now, right? It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares about the fucking artist. It's like, unless that artist is gonna pay me, I am not interested. Like that's just the truth right now, right? I mean, I'm listening to shows. I'm hearing people are just like, Pac-Man's dropping me $15,000. That I'm interested in. Let's go do that, right? That's what people are interested in right now. Or how could I buy something right now, a Solana shitter for 1 Sol, and it go up to 15 Sol? That's what I'm interested in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough to compete against that. I don't think you can do it on like an art level or anything like that. I think that's all dead at the moment, and you got to create something exciting. Yeah, and exciting. By exciting, I mean money.
Make me rich.
Make me rich, bro.
Well, you know what hopefully is going to make us rich is Doginals. There's actually a ton of excitement and a ton of new things that have been kind of in the works here. So we could kind of walk through a slew of this stuff. The first one, I was actually quite surprised. So my Doge CTO, who he's one of the Doge maxis that hates inscriptions because it's clogging up.
Oh yeah, okay.
But the one that's operates the most popular Dogecoin kind of web extension wallet has said that they're going to add Doginal support, which I was actually quite surprised by. And the take here was, he said, for the record, I'm personally not a fan of inscriptions. He's referring to Doginals. The centralized infrastructure required to support so-called meta protocols is fragile, expensive, and cumbersome to end users. He said, with that being said, I respect the Dogecoin community and users of all varieties. Our mission is to make Dogecoin the people's currency, and we will make sure that everyone is supported eventually. And they're making progress on inscription support without browser extension and limited support on the mobile app. The current state of Doginal wallets is not great, to say the least. I mean,
so bad. I don't understand it, man. It's crazy.
I do give props to the Doge Labs wallet is fair. It works. The WIWW wallet, I'm not a fan of. It like barely works.
Yeah.
Barely works, but I have to use it for this Leica stuff. So I would assume that they come in and add Doginal support. Everyone's probably going to use this wallet because it's backed by a pretty credible team, and that has mobile wallets, and they've been working on this for a few years. And also, this is the team that gets continually propelled by Elon Musk. I think Doge designer who's on the team gets like quote tweeted by Elon Musk consistently.
I mean,
So-
how can Doji ever really take off if we expect retail to come in? How they're not going to use that, really clunky web wallet? Like, it's not going to happen. It has to be an app. It has to be easy.
Yeah, these guys have a mobile wallet. So do you think that's could be a bullish catalyst? They
That
added
would be super bullish.
They add Doginal support. Elon's continually tweeting them. Eventually, people download it. I don't know how many users it has. And then people are like, "Hey, what is this? Oh, Doginals has inscriptions.
Exactly.
Oh, Doge has tokens. We'll see what happens, right? I guess the big question. I was talking with somebody last night in one of my posts. What is the top meme on Doge on Dogecoin that people like? Obviously Doji's one, but like what DRC20 is going to get Ansem to tweet about it, or whoever the meme coin kind of leaders are? What is it, right? Is it just going to be Doji, or are they just going to come up and say, yeah, it's the number one, it's the most valuable, that's the meme coin? Or are they going to come in and say something else?
Right.
I think that's the big question.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just create a new one. It's Anson or whatever. I mean, that's always the risk with this stuff, right? I mean, we've kind of settled on, Doji's the one, but is it, or is there gonna be a Rune? This is when it gets like almost, you're just on borderline impossible to figure out, what's going to be the thing. When you can always make new tokens, it's tough. It seems like Doji's the winner, but the winner of what? They may have a big bag of nothing there, right? If it doesn't get really integrated where people can trade this stuff easily, like it may be just a slow run down to zero.
Yeah.
Just being real. Not say I'm not tempted, but I've been tempted up through this entire cycle. I was tempted all the way to $5 back to $1. I'm tempted, but
dude, the bottom of Doji was exactly $1. I think it was like 99 cents. It was like the exact bottom. It was up 20% yesterday. On-chain hustlers, man. What is going to be the king meme coin on Doginals when the wave comes?
Hey, first of all, Adam, quit with the FUD. Get yourself Doji, D-Bit, D-Fat, and need you to get a Lakai too. But
tell me, bro, there are these things everywhere. They're ubiquitous across, multiple chains. Nobody cares anymore. It's I mean, they cared, 6-8 months ago. Nobody cares now. Why is new retail going to care if we in crypto land have stopped caring?
I don't think we've stopped caring, right? It's just volume is low. Everyone's interest is on something right now, which is meme coins, right? Everyone's basically throwing on everything they own, everything they have into meme coins, waiting for the next 100x. They're gonna come back here. All people need is the price of Doge or the price of Bitcoin to go up. The kind of same thing happened in runes, right? There's thousands and thousands of runes, but how many do we really speak of, right? And I don't know, another thing I was kind of thinking about, and you guys could tell me if I'm wrong. I know Big Chief is down there, but when institutions, like we've been waiting for institutions to come into crypto for a while, when they actually get in and they have all these ETFs that contain Doge and everything else, wouldn't runes and dunes kind of be like the new side of decentralization? And isn't that like more volume that we're waiting to come in?
Doginals is kind of, I mean, Dunes is a little bit of a mess right now. There's one wallet that supports Dunes. It's a web wallet. It's not a wallet extension. There's arguments over, is it the right one? Right? Is it the right code? Does it replicate it one for one? Whoever is maintaining it, are they going to add any updates if Casey adds updates? And honestly, I was quite surprised. So when Ordinals bot added Dune support for inscribing and etching, I went and etched one, and Dunes has been out, I think, since like March. The ticker I etched was like in the 400s. I thought it would have been well into the thousands because it costs 5 Doge to etch it. It's literally $1 to etch these things. And you're telling me 3 months later you have 400 that have been etched?
Means there's basically 2 dudes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means you're early, right?
One dude.
Yeah, right. It's one person. So that also needs infrastructure. Obviously, there's a lot more infrastructure that exists for DRC20, and that's and builders are going to optimize for wherever the liquidity is. Even if Dunes is an improvement on the trading experience. I actually did get a demo yesterday. Are they still here? The DeFi guys. If you want to come up and kind of explain it. I did get on a call with these guys yesterday, and they gave me a nice little tour of a demo of their swap tool. And one thing I was pleasantly surprised by is the because with DRC20, it's like BRC20, you have to write a transfer inscription. The fact that Dogecoin is so fast, it literally processed in, I don't know, 10 seconds or something like that.
Nice.
And it was pretty cool. It was exciting. I have to say, from a UX perspective, it's a pretty big improvement on what Woofy Swap offers. And none of the numbers were glitching, which was kind of nice. And this team has a little bit of a DeFi background and have built on other systems. So it felt like there's kind of a seasoned team with some experience. And they also went through the Bitcoin Startup Lab, as you can see here on the screen. So they have a pretty strong network behind them of builders, right? The Bitcoin Startup Lab would be similar to like a Y Combinator kind of thing, but just for Bitcoin. And I guess here they're kind of moving into just like UTXO based things. So
I mean, I just think about it, and it's actually kind of surprising that if you think about and you think Solana, okay, Solana is the top dog meme coin, right? And what I mean by that is I have an app, it's on my phone, I can do it on my phone, it's easy and seamless, right? Why is nobody else able to replicate that? It is not that hard to build an app for a phone. Like, I know I could build an app for a phone. I could hire guys in India and get this done. Why is this not happening? Like, I don't understand it. If that's the gold standard and that is where everybody is right now, because it is the goal, it's easy, it's pennies. Why can't that happen on Doge? Like, I don't understand it, man.
Oh, we have DoggyFi on stage. We talked about this for a little bit yesterday, but tell the crowd how difficult or easy it is to build on Dogecoin.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for the opportunity to be up here. Stoked. And yo, Jake, you're a real mensch, man. Like, it was super cool to like hang and do the demo. We're super appreciative of that opportunity, man. And yeah, like Jake said, me and my co-founder were both like ex-TradFi guys originally, and then DeFi guys building on like ETH and Cardano, funnily enough. And yeah, coming to
another Cardano guy in the room, man. This is 2 days in a row, bro. This is amazing.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, right? Because it's like I think the thesis from Cardano that directly translates over outside of the tech aspect for me personally is that it's a heavily retail adopted kind of chain, right? Coming from ETH, which was more like a VC kind of back narrative, or before like Solana kind of took on that narrative, right? Like Cardano seemed like there was sufficient distribution amongst retail. So it's like you building there becomes a great exercise in not only understanding extended UTXOs, but also like how does the mechanics of a protocol and a token work in capturing a retail audience, right? So it was a fascinating time. Like, honestly, I got a chance to like work with some like super cool people there, make a lot of good friends. And funnily, it just happened to be that the CEO that was building on this, and then basically was like, "Hey, you want to come do this with me?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, why not?" We just happened to be locally in Texas, in Austin, so that was dope. But yeah, man, like basically taking that experience and our ETH experience and my co-founder's experience, also building on ETH, like coming to Dogecoin and Bitcoin, like we got into the startup lab. We were just encouraged to look at any kind of surface area to like try and see if there's a problem and then validate that problem and then build it, right? Like a very like kind of methodical approach. And we came to Doge and we were telling Jake, like, dude, we discovered Doginals just by pure circumstance. Like my co-founder had a couple of beers and was like literally on a Twitter space. And then he heard like Books and Bark and 8-Bit and all these guys like chatting about it. And we were like, holy shit, here's this community that's like super fucking stoked around this asset. And it's like the meta protocol thesis here. So, and we looked at the marketplace issue and we saw that like, hey, can we just make an improvement on this? And when we started digging into it, we realized that a lot of the infrastructure tooling and even the marketplace tooling isn't just there. So you have to take a lot of half measures to get things right, unfortunately. And the cool thing is like, lots of other people have like taken like their interpretation of a solution here, right? There's like great places, like great other teams that have tried to deliver on this, which is like, the DRC20 Very Doge guys, the Doji market guys, the DIPE guys, the Woofy swap guys. It's fantastic because I think, for us, we're just excited about the fact that everyone takes their own take, and that's crypto, like you can build your interpretation of what do you think is best. And that's kind of special. And yeah, we built this AMM style DEX, and we're gonna whitelist mainnet in 10 days. We have like 3,000 plus people signed up for it, which is amazing considering, we're just like organically are just like, hey guys, like we're just putting it out there. And if you guys want to come and use it, that'd be great. So it'll have like LPs and, like it'll just be like a regular swap. We're going to do DRC20s and then we're probably going to do Dunes. Most likely going to do Dunes. We're going to try and see if we can include that in the testnet itself, but we have to make sure. So it can do cross protocol kind of swaps. And then obviously DIPE, so that's kind of cool too. The track guys are really interesting. And talking to Jason from Sora and talking to Benny and track dudes from like Token 2049 and elsewhere, like we're excited about them also coming on because like that's another great asset class that could or an asset interpretation that could also be supported. So yeah, and we're just excited. And we're also hoping that once we get this right, we can just open source the stack. So that way every other team can basically build in an open and permissionless way. And if you want to plug into, leverage our marketplaces, that's fantastic. If you want to just fork it and then build your own stuff, that's also fantastic. We're aiming to do that probably by maybe Q4 this year, because we just want to make sure that the stack works properly and then there's no contagion issues. But yeah, man, sorry, went a little down the yellow brick road there. My bad.
No, you're all good. I really enjoyed the demo, and it's very enlightening to see new builders come in, experienced builders come in, put some new products out that have been requested, and also just add some competition, because sometimes you see an immature or young ecosystems, one team comes in, puts a product out, and then everybody else just kind of gives up and is afraid to fight the incumbent and compete for it. When we talked about this yesterday on the call, right? Doginals are so early. It shouldn't be tribal. It should be, hey, the more products right now will grow the space and add more interest to kind of outside capital. And to touch a little bit on Tap, actually, some kind of alpha, I guess, or 411. So here on the live stream, K8 with a bunch of numbers. Is a track member, or was a former track member, I think a former track member that has the details. This told me that track's actually almost done with they're creating their own indexer and for meta protocols for Dogecoin. I also saw somewhere, I couldn't find it for this live stream, but there was a post of a screenshot in Benny's Discord of Benny's basically saying that they were close to being done as well. And so why is this bullish? Well, Track's the leading indexer, which basically allows teams the ability to add a rule set. In the most simplistic terms, you add a rule set to whatever protocol that you want. So this Benny was the main indexer for Bitmap. Now, obviously, they have Tap and Track, and they're doing indexing for Karma Coin and for the digital matter theory. So you see all these new meta protocols popping up. A Track will come in and compete with Hub, who also is doing kind of a similar thing to come in and start helping these meta protocols surface and be created. And I'd be interested to see if there's like a Doge native meta protocol that pops up. That would be really, really bullish if you could get kind of this like native meta protocol based off of the existing Dogecoin infrastructure.
Dude, can I just get an app? Can I just get an app where I can trade my DRC20s? Can we just do that? Just do that. Fuck everything else. Simple app, shit coins, trading, easy. Like one thing, good. God damn it. Come on. What's the name of these guys? DojiFi. Make this shit happen. I want my app. I don't want an Android app. I want an iPhone app where I can fucking make this shit happen. Come on, baby. You guys can tell me.
Well, yeah, speaking of that, like one of the cool things is like, you know, before I get into that, I just also want to shout out to like Billy and Big Chief over here. They were like super helpful and instrumental and also like helping us be like, hey, yeah, this is in fact a problem, validating it, and then helping us like build this stuff, which is awesome. Like that's super cool. They were like really instrumental in this, but so I just want to shout them out. But like, yeah, I mean, going to your point about trying to make it like easy for this asset class, like this is one of the things that me and Jake were talking about yesterday. We were like, dude, it'd be awesome if we could just like deploy this directly into Emblem Vault. And then that way you can just get like a super fucking highway of like all these assets that work. And more importantly, like you could leverage all this, you know, all the NFT stacks with the token stack here. And that'd be great. So yeah, man, like, it's exciting times. I think that what we need to do is probably just make sure that we sort things out. You know, like it'd be kind of cool to do like a Marvel DC kind of mashup, you know, like a Deadpool Wolverine kind of like cross up. Because it would be dope.
You don't see me, bro. I'm shaking my head no right now. I'm shaking my head no. This is what you need to do. Today. This is. Let me give you guys a business plan right now. You create an app for Android and Apple. All you can do on that app is trade DRC20 tokens. That's it, right? You do that where people can send in their Doge from their whatever exchange or whatever. They can just send the Doge directly into that app, and then they could just trade shitcoins. Then you create the pumped up fund for Doge and Doginals or whatever you want to call it. You create that pumped up fund.
Doge.fun.
And then you have, then you've done it. You're mimicking Solana, but it's for Doge. And then you unlock that $21 trillion that's locked on Doge right now. That's what you do. That's the play. Make it happen. Can we get this next week? Like, let's make it happen.
We need to put some products out so Doji and all the DRC20s just take off and leave Adam sidelined.
Adam always fades this. I'm telling you, this is a winner.
Adam is selling the bottom right now.
I'm selling the bottom, bro.
Selling the bottom. What's up, Chris? What are you thinking?
Yeah, man, Adam has it totally, you know, right on the spot. Is that, you know, I kind of see Doge as the alt layer one for proof of work. There's no other ecosystem that's really filling that niche, and I think that people really need to lean into it. Just as Adam said, Solana kind of filled that niche to Ethereum. It was faster, cheaper, newer, kind of just a different take on the kind of proof of stake ecosystem. I think that that's the role that Doge really needs to lean into. It's obviously a bit disorganized and a lot more decentralized across the board, but I mean, we definitely need to get some leaders kind of in a room and really understand what needs to be built out and take the steps to kind of, you know, build from first principles what needs to happen first and kind of really work on actually building out an ecosystem that people can kind of cohesively use rather than just kind of building in all different directions. But I think that that's the next move.
That was a good take. Really, really good take. We did see that happen. It did happen previously. I haven't seen it happen recently. I think it was like during maybe towards the end of last year, when Bitcoin was getting really high transaction fees, Doginals started really popping off. I don't know if it was the same audience, but I think that is a good take. I mean, you do now see there's even an L2 on Dogecoin called Leica that we've covered. Woofy Swap is actually, look, I can't tell if they're moving over to completely exist on this Dogecoin layer 2 or if Why is this not showing? Or if they're just going to have a native layer 1 on this. I know, Adam, I know you hate layer 2s, but you think this can solve? Do you think this will solve anything for the Doginal ecosystem, or is it just a lot of vaporware?
It's not. I don't think it's needed. I mean, maybe DoggyFi can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's needed. And I think Pensive Chepe had a good little comment here on the live stream. He said, if it wasn't for Phantom Wallet, Solana would not be the DGEM meme place it is. Totally fair and completely true. Like, but that's the thing. It only takes one good wallet, that I can use on my phone is easy, right? It only takes one good pump.fun. It only takes one good. I mean, just think about the Solana ecosystem right now. Basically rests on one wallet and one website, right? Then it's got Deck Screener, all this other stuff around it. But those two things can create literally millions of dollars in revenue every day for the people who run those services. And it's just, I don't know. It's exciting time. I think you guys who are building on Doge have this opportunity, but don't complicate it. Don't make it so complex, because that's not what retail wants right now. Retail wants, how can I make as much money as possible in as little time as possible, easy. And that will attract retail. Like we already know, I think Doge has the biggest, holder base of any crypto. Like that's literally billions of dollars who want to gamble with those billions of dollars. We have a model that exists that works every day. What'd you say? Pump.fun, they make $2 million a day in fees.
Yeah, they're number 3 in fees across the entire ecosystem, across the entire industry, competing with Solana and Ethereum for fee generation.
Bro, you make dog.fun right now today. If you launch that today, you're telling me you couldn't, have thousands of people using that tomorrow? You could. It's there, it's waiting. It's literally, you just got to reach out and grab it. Somebody's got to reach out and grab it. And if they don't, I think Doge is going to be, or Doji at least, and the whole Doginal ecosystem is going to be, it's dead on arrival.
So do you think then, so we had this conversation yesterday with .swap, who has a very intriguing pump.fun style kind of product for UTXO chains. Do you think that's the solution here? Do you think would you run with that model?
I think you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? You run with that model. And obviously it's difficult. But Doge has a real advantage over Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's slow. It takes away kind of all this momentum being how slow it is. Doge, I mean, dude, it could be it's as fast as Solana. Like there's no reason it can't be as fast as Solana, and as exciting, as interesting as Solana. It could be. I don't know. There's a lot of opportunity there for sure. But building it is, obviously, we know it's hard. Can somebody do it? If somebody does it, like, man, bro, all it then takes is you get this massive pump in Doge, and all that Doge money is going to be looking for new homes. Man, I mean, ride that wave, bro. Right. I'm wondering how much DogeFi has been able to raise, man. It's got to be in the tens of millions of dollars, bro.
DoggyFi, what's the general interest from outside investors? Are they interested in Doginals? And then how's your guys' raise going?
Yeah, so it's kind of really funny actually. So we went to ETH Denver. We had like 3 VC meets, and by the end we had like 26 VC meets. I think it was just kind of like they were like, look at these retards like building on Doge, because they were like, they knew that we were like ex ETH guys and ex like Cardano guys. So they were like, what the fuck are you retards doing? They're like, why did you make such a left turn in your career? And I'm like, bro, like it's actually legit. And it kind of became this like low key thing where like if you looked at our like early deck, you'd be surprised like all the people that like gone through it. It was wild. Like big VC names like from ETH and just like in Bitcoin have to like check it out, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I mean, we officially started raising like a week and a half ago. After our demo day at the startup lab, we got like roughly like 25% of our round already finished. So yeah, we got like a 250K check, like pretty much like right after. Like we just told them like what we were doing. We showed them the demo and we were like, told them like, this shit is not on testnet, bro. It's like on mainnet. You can see the transaction. And basically they were like, oh, fuck. Okay. And like they wrote a check to us, which was amazing. In Dubai, we were at 2049. Me and Inspector Wolf, who's my co-founder here, we're just like, we went out there just to, just chill. And then did 2049. And we didn't expect to like, like get like 50% of the round done like so fucking quickly. And yeah, man, like we're not trying to raise like a bunch of money. We just want to be very like fiscally prudent about like where every single dollar goes through. And I was telling Jake this, I really think like money's like manure. You got to spread it around or it'll sink up the space. So like, bro, like we just want to make sure that that dollar is like every single dollar is like used to like make the product better and make it just more functional and like usable for users. So it just grows naturally. As to like Adam's pump.fun or doge.fun, I think that's an interesting idea too. I don't know, maybe it's on the roadmap, maybe it's not on the roadmap. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know if that shit can happen this week, bro, but like, it is.
Yesterday, bro. Yesterday. Stop fucking around.
Yeah, I mean, it is like a wicked fucking awesome idea to put on Doge. I think it would be super cool to have like this like new kind of narrative and community building kind of aspect that's like kind of like in the fast lane with these kind of like new pump.fun or .fun vehicles. So yeah, I really think that would be something really cool to do. Something that like we were joking about this morning was like junk bonds around like creating like a financial asset of like junk bonds around a certain like dog with hat coins and shit like that. And then making that like an actual index or whatever that people can just be like, oh shit, like I have the dog with hat index, which is like just traded across these different kinds of chains. And people could just like be like, oh fuck, like now I have exposure to like yay with hat, dog with yarmulke, dog with turban, and dog with hat. It's kind of hilarious to see people justify that as their portfolio, but it is wild. And so, yeah, I mean, like all these crazy ideas by crypto VCs are like, firstly, we can't believe you guys are fucking building this on Doge. And secondly, they're like, yeah, dude, like we're definitely watching. Like, so it's been exciting, man. It's been really, really exciting. And we can't wait to get this out there. And more importantly, like, just like build better shit and then create an ecosystem by like open sourcing the stack, because like that's a critical thing. We really think that the whole chain can become like a huge fucking value add. Like going from like a $20 billion to $100 billion thing, if the stack is open and then people can just build other kinds of crazy shit, because it's like impossible to think that like 50 devs can build every fucking thing here. It's just, we don't have the temporal or neural capital for us all in Doge to just do that. So it's like the best thing I think would be like, that's the asymmetrical opportunity here. And getting that done would be, I think, our bigger part of our mission. So like we look at our AMM and like anything in the stack that we're building is just like a proof of concept really to prove this idea that like, holy fucking shit, you can build a lot of these cool shit like on fucking Doge. As far as the L2 that you mentioned, I'm not against an L2. I think it's like an interesting concept actually. And I think that if you kind of take like the Cosmos kind of approach where it's like you can tweak the mechanics so that like you can specialize it for specific kind of applications or deployments, it's a very, very interesting concept. So it's like if you're thinking about gaming on Doge and you want to put it on L2 and you want to speed up the parameters by changing block sizes or changing block speeds to change up your game mechanics, like that's a very interesting concept, right? Like, so I think specialized L2s for that kind of stuff is like brilliant. I know that the oil guys, like Flexo and Taga are like also like super brilliant about what they're building at Sandshrew and oil, and we've had like multiple conversations with them about all these kind of crazy things that can go for an L2 or like how like deployment surfaces look like. But dude, you're 100% right that like it'd be in the end of the day, you just want something that's like dumb, cheap, and fun, right? Like that's how retail really comes in. And that's how like other people in like different ecosystems would be like, holy shit, like not only is this on Doge, but it's cheap and fun for me to like spin up shit and move shit around. That's the most important thing. So yeah, man, like once again, I apologize. I got lost in my train of thought. Sorry.
No, the ramblings are great. The point of, infrastructure that exists for Dogecoin or for Doginals, and it's relatively closed source. We talked about this yesterday, right? Doge Labs is kind of following a similar suit to Magic Eden, where they just close off a lot of the stuff so that the builders have to go build it on their own. The oil guys with Alex and them have came in and provided infrastructure support for they're building a Bitcoin RPC. Actually, Emblem is going to be using them as well, Sandshrew, to build our emblem on Bitcoin product. But as well, on the other side of this, Oil has become a big supporter of Dogify, of Emblem, of Omnisat, and they said, hey, if we build a Bitcoin RPC, how tough would it be to build a Dogecoin RPC? And from what they've said is that's their intention, is to build a Dogecoin RPC. So once that comes out, then you could build really specialized meta protocols on Bitcoin, and you could use that probably in combination with Benny's indexing to really kind of build essentially whatever you want. So once that's live, I know the Dogify guys are going to be using it, and it'll make it a much more simple kind of experience. And then Emblem can deploy on Dogecoin, and you could bring CryptoPunks or kind of whatever you want there. But Dogify, to ask one more question, and then I'm going to go over to Chris. How important is something like this for the builders on Dogecoin, something like a Dogecoin RPC?
Yeah, I think it's like super critical. Like, I feel like there's this weird thing that we noticed that was kind of like startling for both me and Inspecta. Like when we came here, like I think that we were spoiled by the fact on ETH and Cardano that like we build in an open and permissionless way, right? Where essentially everything's open source, and like, the code base is there. And if you like see the code base and you're like, oh, this is great, I can plug right into this, kind of like Panoptic plugging into Uniswap, or even forking Uniswap to do a sushi swap, and then, having your own interpretation of it. We were a little surprised when we came here and we saw that there's like this real fragmentation of code bases and kind of like this weird gatekeeping, right? Like I think that I don't know if it's on purpose, or I don't know if it's like maybe just someone made a mistake in like commenting out code. But like one thing for sure is that it's a real dickbag fucking move, right? And I think that's not the way. I think that's like unfortunately a mentality for people that like want to like slice the pie even smaller. And I'm like, bro, that's not how you're gonna really succeed. I feel like it's smarter to just grow the pie, right? And if you're growing the pie, it means that like you just expect other people to like build their own shit. Like that's the way this is really gonna get like 100x or 1000x. So I think for us, like looking at Oil and looking at what they're doing over there in Metashrew and Sandshrew, and Taga being a big fucking fan of Pokemon, and my name being actually Ash. Hi, my name's Ash. I'm Ash in the Wild. And that being like a weird convergence point for us both to like love fucking Pokemon and Doge as well. We were like, holy shit, man, we should like do something together. And unfortunately at that time they were like super focused on like Hathaway, right? And the good guys at like Omnisat, Hathaway and Budsy shipping their decks there. So we're like, bro, we need this stuff. So we started like building our own stuff just to make our own internal tooling work. But now that we understand that this works, we're like, holy fucking shit. Like, dude, if you're going to fucking do this, bro, we'll get your shit like up and running too. And then like now this is a win-win, so that like, it's like we have a cross-chain like kind of space that's deployed on the surface area of Oil, where it's like you can have Emblem Vault plugged in, you have Dogify plugged in, you have Omnisats, all this shit is there. And it becomes like this kind of like this powerhouse kind of project. So I'm excited about it. And I think that it's very critical. And I also think like Flexo, like Ray and Taga are like have the same vision that we do, where it's like, dude, ultimately this kind of infrastructure tooling just has to radically improve. And then we need to like allow other people to plug in so that their shit can just improve itself. Because that's the only way that the L1 asset will appreciate in value. And then on top of that, all the marketplace assets that give credence to these like new pump.fund style assets that are spurned out of it will increase in value as well. So yeah, man, I really can't say like how, I can't stress how important that is. And I also like love the fact that other people are building their own indexers and then like having their own implementations, right? Because that'll just make this whole thing of iron sharpening iron and just getting better at like creating better products for users. So yeah, like, fuck, that's the third time in a row. I think I need to stop drinking so much coffee. Sorry, guys.
Ooh, it's early morning still down there in Texas. What's up, Chris? What are you thinking?
No, man, I love it. Just super passionate, good energy. You and Inspector Wolf, what a name. That is just the funniest thing I've heard this morning. But you guys are just crushing it. And, you know, watching these ecosystems get built out from, you know, the first innings is always the toughest. It's the slowest roll. There's always a ton of career risk. People are asking you why you're doing it. But just to see the overall potential and how big, you know, some of these applications can be, you know, and how quickly things can change. You know, like 1 year ago from today, the only place to build on in the eyes of any venture capitalist was only Ethereum. You were like a huge career risk to be building anywhere else. And then now that's probably skewed more towards Solana. And then now up and coming, finally, there's an ecosystem built around Bitcoin that never had any VC investment before. And so these are going to just continue to be developed outwards. And I think that the value proposition for Doge is just so obvious. I just think that the narrative is really just the alt proof of work layer one, and to really lean into those strengths. And I think it's going to be huge. I mean, there's virtually no competition in there. So love to see it. Definitely going to be huge.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better. Adam, I'm curious on if you have an update for Doge's, I don't know, little brother or big brother, Bell's coin. What is going on over there, man? The price has been taking a beating, dude. Beating.
Slower, clunky, uglier brother than Doge without the cool meme. You know, it is what it is. I just talked with the lead dev who's going to be who's kind of spearheading the 3.0 upgrade, and hopefully sometime before the end of this month the upgrade will take place. I expect it kind of after the 22nd at some point. The 3.0 upgrade will take place. Now that's going to take time. It's going to, you know, but it should speed up the chain basically almost immediately. So I'd expect Nook is going to mint out or inscribe out in the next kind of week or so anyway, most likely. But realistically, there's not really a great place to trade. It gets back to this, like, if there's no trading, there's no wallets, it's really tough, right? The wallet is upgraded and good. So the Nintendo wallet works now pretty seamlessly, so I've heard. And so that's in place. The 3.0 should be in place relatively shortly. We're still in kind of a longer term discussion with Bitmain about getting a Bitmain, for you guys who don't know, they're the #1 maker of miners. So we're in discussions with them about them giving a grant to Bell's coin and the creation of a foundation, something a much larger thing, which would support the chain for, you know, years. And so we're in that discussion. So there's a lot of stuff happening. It's kind of like it just takes time for it to all to kind of coalesce and come together. But I am definitely thinking about like what we just talked about, which is how do we create something that really is interesting and new on Bell's coin, right? Because like interesting, new, exciting, this is what really moves the needle, right? Like copy pasta, like we've done that. That's what everybody does. But the thing that really is going to set chains apart is doing something kind of unique, something that just hits. And obviously we've seen it with Solana, saw it with NFTs on Ethereum, you know, we saw it with Ordinals on Bitcoin, right? What's the thing that's going to move the needle? And look, is Bell's coin ever going to hit on that? Bro, I wish, you know, probably not, right? It's the hardest thing to do. But if you are able to hit, bro, it's like, this is when deca millions of dollars are made, right? If you hit right with a pumped up fund or something like this, it is, bro, it's life-changing. So that's what we're all trying to do, build new stuff. Because I just think the copy pasta thing has been run here. We've run it. And it's time to try and do something new and innovative. Like let's roll, like something. Got to do something.
So Bells.fun and Boons are coming next.
Who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, look, we've got the, It's going to be fun to see. Nook is going to mint out, and we're going to get to see this narrative right there. I don't know how many trillions. Is it 100 trillion Nook or?
I think it actually took 100 million mints, I believe.
Yeah. So it's 100 million mints to mint out. So it's probably the most of any kind of these, BRC20 clone type stuff. It's very possible if it moves up at all that it becomes a larger market cap than Bell's itself, which is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We've talked about it a bit. So who knows, man? It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
One of the cool components I like about the Bells coin community is that it feels like it's an experienced community because it's a proof of work chain, but it felt like the people who kind of coalesced around it when it restarted were people who'd been in the space for 10 years already. Yeah. So there's this like maturity in the community that I would say it's kind of gives you this like comfortable feeling that shit will get done, or at least they'll be able to be led into the right direction because of their understanding of how it works.
Well, I mean, we have like legit builders, like you said, who've been in it like 10 years. And that makes me very bullish. It's not huge, right? It's a handful of guys. But we all know that a handful of really good guys can literally transform stuff, right? So I am bullish in that way, but there are no guarantees. And like guarantee on price, who fucking knows, man? I don't even know what it's at. 20 cents. It went up to $1, down to 20 cents. Like, dude, it could go to zero. And the thing could, like literally, like our lead dev, if he dies in a plane crash tomorrow, like Bell's coin's probably going to stop. I'll just be honest. But if it doesn't stop, maybe it's something interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I just remember, and then I'll go to the hands. When Emblem added Bell's support, Shannon was talking with that developer, and he was like, "No, that guy definitely knows his shit."
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was for me when our main dude, who's like the ultimate gigabrain, is like, "Oh, dude, that guy's a gigabrain." I'm like, "Oh, snap!" And now I know him. Now I know him personally and stuff, and talk to him, and the dude is legit, like the most legit of legits. So yeah, I'm super bullish on the people involved in Bell's coin, man. That's been amazing.
Awesome. All right, let's go around to the hands. We're gonna do we'll do Big Chief, Hooked, and then BG right after.
Hey guys, thanks for the space. I'm a node runner. I'm one of the with Billy Bitcoins. He started the node runners. It's a great space, great group chat or whatever, and we help people get onboarded into running their own nodes and everything. But I have an amazing announcement. I just was tagged in a post by MC Doge. MC Doge is one of he's onboarded more people onto Dogecoin proper than probably anybody else. And he just created a Dogi.market wallet. He's been really anti Doginals since they started, and he just created Dogi.market. I shared it in the purple pill, his address. So all you Doginal people out there,
you want to pin it up top, pin up the pin a tweet up top.
Up
top. Now wait, is this a wallet on my phone?
Oh, Dogi.market is a web.
No, I want it on my phone, bro.
Yeah, it's easy. You can use it on your phone, but anybody who's in the Doginals community, there's MC's DRC20 Doginals address in the nest. Spread the love.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for the announcement. What's up, Hooked, man? Are you hooked on Doonies next?
Oh, I don't even know what a Doonie is. I have to admit. Well, I'm excited by the bells, and I do think that you're right. I'm just about it, just taking a handful of guys to get some excitement going. But I was wondering if they're going to offer bell end points.
What?
Are they going to offer bell end points?
You want some points? Unlimited points. I'm going to create a great point system. So people love.
I'm always excited about the bell ends.
We want Hooked on Doonies next.
We can only manage so much over here. Today was kind of a mixed day for me because because Runeys are pumping, and that's good. But
Are they wait? Are they really pumping right now?
Well, they're pumping. They're always pumping.
They went from a penny to a penny and a half to pumping.
Well, you go investigate for yourself. We got here working and cooking, but we woke up and they tried to put a boot on the mobile lab under the bridge, and we've been kind of on the run here for a minute. And then I hear the news. I think we all need to have like just a moment of silence. If everybody would please bow their heads, we're gonna have a moment of silence. Because they're gonna close all the Red Lobsters because there was nothing better.
What?
Yeah, they filed for bankruptcy.
It's terrible. It's terrible news. It's terrible news. There's nothing better than popping a Rooney and then having some endless shrimp scampi. It's just the most delicious. And I've just been driving around here. I've been driving around, and they've been getting after me. Oh dear.
All right, Roonies. Let's hope and we'll pray for the best for the Roonies. We do want some hooked on Doonies next, or hooked on Boonies when Bell's coin runes. That's gonna be the next one. What's up, BG? Thank you for being patient.
Thank you, guys. I don't know if you can hear me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. So I kind of joined the conversation late. I got in at the point about the pump.fun stuff. And one thing that kind of crosses my mind is like, I've been on Solana since about 2021, and coming back this year and kind of seeing what pump.fun has kind of like exacerbated in the community is, yes, it brings liquidity, but it also brings, I guess, a lack of resilience, a lack of retention, like people constantly jumping from one thing to the next.
Yep.
And it's, great for liquidity, but really crap when it comes to projects actually thriving or having a chance to thrive, because people are constantly moving from one thing to the next, waiting for that next pump. And I guess my question was going to be, what is the value added for Doge long term if it is just another thing that is used for quick liquidity, and one project to the next? Like, what can really grow if we're looking to grow Doge?
It's a really good question, to be honest. I would say at this point in time, the use for it is just bringing eyeballs and attention to it, maybe even a little bit further than the liquidity itself. Because at this moment, Doginals is a little bit, I wouldn't call it faceless, but there's not really a premier product that exists that makes it attractive. Yes, the meme, there's fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens on Dogecoin, but there hasn't really been this kind of breakout winner. You do have the leaders of mini Doges as the NFT and Doji as the kind of leading token, but it still is not getting to the point of bringing new and interested individuals over. And right now, Pump.Fun is just high. Of course, it's probably the most highly speculative kind of protocol or product that's came out in quite a long time.
Yep.
And bringing that over and saying, oh, I could do Pump.Fun on Dogecoin would probably bring some eyeballs in. Will it end up being, you do bring up a good point though, is like, if it did end up on, if you had like Doge.Fun, would that be extractive in the same nature that it is to the Solana ecosystem? Extractive of liquidity, but right, but it introduced new users. I don't know, right? To be determined.
Right.
Yeah, I think your point is valid. We've talked about that a few times now. It's just this idea of like, I touched on it this morning. Like literally, people, the attention span for the next pump is 5 minutes, right? And so, but if you think about almost anything we've dealt with here, all these others are simply expanding out that attention span. So if you think about, I don't know, the blast points and what's going on with, with the cards and stuff now, you just think about it, and all Pac-Man's doing is drawing out or making that attention span kind of longer in a way. So it's kind of the same game. It's just adding layers and more steps on. So I don't know, man.
It looks like also right now, Pump.Fund just got hacked.
I saw that. Yeah, it wasn't
this
sure.
on my timeline right now from a bunch of people.
If you, yeah, I would maybe disconnect your wallet from Pump.Fund if you're on there right now. I don't know if that was fact or not. I didn't want to.
I've seen it's all over my time. It's all over the timeline right now.
Yeah. So centralized exchanges, baby. Bro.
Yeah, right.
I've never had any money on Pump.Fund anyway, man. I've done nothing but lose money on Pump.Fund, man. It is not Pump.Fund is honestly it's the worst. It's the worst. It's the worst. It is. Unless you are in a cabal and you are creating the coin and just literally pumping it and dumping it yourself, it is it's a zero for me. But
yeah, it looks like also in news, it looks like the Senate just voted to repeal Gensler's anti-crypto rule. SAB 12151 votes. Key Democrat senators broke party lines to vote yes. So there's a little bit of positive news in what may be the unraveling of Pump.Fund. Bring it to Doge. Bring it to
BG's point, your point is completely 100%. I mean, we're aligned. What's going to be the next thing that actually creates like legit value on blockchains and stuff? I mean, I don't know. We're hoping for something, but right now it's all attention is meme coin based, right? I think it's like who knows what we need to do. It feels like we're bottoming here as far as crypto goes, but in some ways we're just playing around. And these kind of games that builders build and create, hopefully will create something of legit value for crypto. I'm hopeful.
Legit 8-bit man, bro. Thanks for joining us. This is the first time I get to hear you talk today. What is good?
Yeah, what's up, Jake? Dude, I just want to touch on BG's point because, I've had some personal experience kind of with that the past month. And initially you see all that liquidity coming over and you're like, all right, that's dope. But if it's leaving, then it's very, very bad, right? And I think Doge has a huge opportunity to do something like a Doge.Fund, but the liquidity's got to stay, then it's got to be reinvested. And then we've got a blossoming ecosystem, because we basically bottomed out. You're right, dude. Because we had like a tweet even yesterday that was kind of speculative about Doge meme coins. Bro, the Doge price just pumped like a little bit. So the people are here. They're watching. And the on-chain economy and its multi-chain future is as bright as ever. But BG's right, dude. It's like you gotta have like the attention on us, and it's gotta be like retained. It's very hard. It's very hard to do. But guys, disconnect your wallets there from Pump Fund. They took 30K from me like 30 days ago. So,
Wait, what's that? Expand on that.
Yeah, so I was one of the first people to actually launch on Pump Fund, and that was that ticker's Runes, bro. And I was live on the stage with everybody. All of a sudden, bro, it just got drained from my wallet and was on auto approve from Phantom. And I've got a whole bunch of the brightest minds on Solana actually trying to figure it out with me. But dude, it seems to be that I'm not alone now, for real.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, there's been a few exploits. The Alex bridge, actually, so the Alex bridge was exploited yesterday. I don't know if you saw that, Adam, on Bitcoin or on Stacks. Alex is like this DeFi layer. Got hacked for like $24 million yesterday.
Wow. No, I didn't see it.
That was the first Bitcoin-based hack I'd seen in a while. Obviously, it lives on Stacks as a DeFi protocol on Stacks, but it was the first one I'd really seen. Yeah, they got drained. It had to do with their BSC bridge, like them bridging to Binance Smart Chain. So be safe out there, people. Yikes. Safe. Inspector, I saw you had your hand up. Thanks for joining us on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
What's good? Do you have any questions or statements?
Oh no, I just wanted to touch on BG's point from earlier. I believe she made a comment where it was kind of like, if we build all these ecosystem of Doge, what's going to come of it? I think to relate to 8-bit's point, I agree. We need to have more attention on us if we really want to see the ecosystem grow. We need to have people talking about us and all the cool things that we're doing. And I really think that's just going to come as we continue to build great products that people just want to use on Doge. I mean, and Doge is the best place for it. It's 100 times cheaper in terms of dollars for ordinary users, and it's 10 times faster. So for like this type of speculative trading, like it's exactly what you want. And so I think a lot of social capital can aggregate when you form ideas around memes. And ironically, that's actually how you get real infrastructure built. So it wouldn't even surprise me if one day we had payments on top of Doge. So I think we just have to build it and they'll come.
Yeah. How funny would it be if Elon ended up creating some sort of product on Dogecoin, just like Michael Saylor's doing his product on Bitcoin? That would be a major plot twist. Major. Bullish. I don't know if you guys saw that when Elon had to do, he had to, forget what it's called, where you have to do an interview for something, but he had to put all of his crypto wallets on a document, and one of his crypto wallets was a Dogecoin wallet that is owned by his son, X, that's like 4 years old, has over $1 billion in Dogecoin.
Come on. Lord have mercy.
Over $1 billion in Dogecoin that's not owned by SpaceX or any of it. That's like his personal kind of wallet.
Wow.
So he's invested in it, right? I guess that's like his kids' futures. That's his kids' college fund.
Bullish Doge for sure.
Doge-ish. Yeah, that's the Elon call option, man. You just never know. I could see that happening in a few years once infrastructure improves, but good time to be living. I think we're going to wrap it up here at an hour and a half. It was a fun Doginals conversation. Again, I think when I look across all of the Inscription kind of ecosystems, I think the tap ecosystem on Bitcoin, the track ecosystem seems to be gaining some legs, and it does seem like there's some energy and excitement coming back to Doginals. So those are probably the two that I'll be watching here in the near future. And then Bells, whenever that 3.0 upgrade comes, and I could finally have a transaction that doesn't take 3 hours to do.
Bro, that's a feature, not a bug. The 3-hour transaction time. It's the slowest blockchain on earth, everybody.
Oh boy. We're almost there, 3.0. I appreciate everyone for coming. If you don't know, Adam, myself, and Chris, who are on stage work at Emblem Vault, the leading cross-chain NFT protocol in the industry with over 100 million in TVV. We're going to be having a town hall probably 2 weeks from today, and we'll cover everything: Emblem markets, new front end, updates, all kind of SDK, all that fun stuff. I appreciate everyone here. Make sure you follow everyone on stage. Follow 8-Bit and Expecta, Big Chief, the Socks, On-Chain Hustlers, BG, everybody, DoggyFi. A lot of fun stuff coming. Make sure that you are safe this weekend. I'm actually going out to EDC in Las Vegas this weekend, so I might be a little bit MIA from the timeline. Gonna have some fun and then get back into business. Adam, any final words? How are you feeling about Doge, Bells, and the ecosystem? Take us away here.
Got to find something new, guys. Keep building something new. It's time for new.
Build new and get Adam a Doginal mobile app.
That's right, baby.
This man can buy Doji and not sell the bottom for once. Until then, guys, stay safe. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.